To continue, yep.
Good afternoon, everybody at Taka Nation. Let's talk about it. And today we are interviewing Renata Farah, and she's from the MindBug.com. So welcome, Renata.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Lee, for the invitation to be here today.
My pleasure. And I heard that you're in lockdown, you just told me. So thank you for coming on, and we're looking forward to hearing all about you and your business. So just to start, would you like to tell us and your audience a little bit about yourself?
Yes, of course. First of all, thank you very much for having me here. That's a pleasure. That's actually really good considering we are in lockdown today. So it's a good conversation.
Yes.
So Lee, my background, I am actually from Brazil. If coincidentally, I'm just next to the
just by chance.
Yes, I am. So originally, I'm from Brazil, and I moved to Australia in 2013. The story of my move is really long, so I'm gonna cut it short to when I arrived in Australia already, 2013. I remember in the beginning, my first 3 years living here was really tough for me to find a job. And I came here with a permanent residency, so it wasn't even a problem with visa or anything, but just I think was my mindset. I think that I was going to interviews and going into processes where I was always believing that there was something wrong with me, right? And English is my second language, and during the interview processes, I was always very excited, and my enthusiasm sometimes I think that backfired me a little bit because I don't know if people wanted somebody with so much, sparkles, depending of the job that you apply, of course. So I remember my first 3 years here in Australia. Seems like it flied, but I still have them really tough in my head. I work for a coffee shop, and actually now that is over, it was one of the best things that ever happened to me because I was able to actually understand how the culture, especially Melbourne, works. I didn't even have a clue that coffee was so important in Australia.
I didn't either when I immigrated. I had no idea.
Yeah, no idea. I didn't even know that it was so much attention to the detail of the coffee and the type of coffees and the rituals around the coffee, right? Anyway, cutting the story short, after 3 years working for a coffee shop, I moved into my first corporate job, which was with cycling. I worked for Cycling Victoria for 1.5 years, and then I moved into Cycling Australia.
Wow.
So I am a cyclist myself, so it was really exciting because I was really close to the action of cycling, which is also huge in Australia, right? Here in Australia, I think coffee and cycling, that you think that are really, good together. And when I was on my jobs, at my last job on Cycling Australia, I was then literally recruited by a recruiter to work with recruitment. And Lee, I always hated recruiters. Sorry. I was one, because I moved into recruitment. And the reason why was because I was never treated well by recruiters. They always treated me like a body to fit a hole. And I faced that, especially in the beginning when I arrived in Australia. And that never suited me well. Like I never liked that attitude, of like, it's more like you need me than I need you. There's not such a thing, right? In anything you do, in anything we do is a 50-50. Even if I am, even now it's a 50-50. It's me giving you, receiving, and vice versa, and it needs to work always in this 50-50, always a balance. However, the person that recruited me to recruiter, he was very persuasive, and I was really interested and intrigued to get into a big corporation because they were a very big corporate. They were like a multinational and all over the world and here in Australia as well. So as I was more curious to understand about how does it feel working in a massive corporation, right? And I think it was just for me like ticking the box. Cutting the story shortly, because otherwise we can go here for 3
I was going to say most of us try to get out of the corporate world.
So this is the where I want to get is that we need sometimes to test things ourselves, even if people tell us, for us to make sure that that's not the right place to be. especially with certain things in your personality or character, you know. I think that for me, this corporate thing, it's more like coming from Brazil. There was this cultural and this background of people saying that the way is for you to go from school, university, a job, grow in your job, get married, have kids, house, no. And then I think that hearing that over and over and over, this is what I believe to be true.
Wow.
When I started to work in this corporation, I still remember first day is like the first date, right? It's still beautiful. The office was amazing, was in like Freshwater Place, one of the biggest buildings here in Melbourne. Beautiful. You go, the office is like bang, like I made it, right? For the first week.
Lasted a week.
Lasted a week. Because I soon realized that I was surrounded of zombies. I was surrounded of people that had no purpose, no goals, that they were there just to get a salary at the end of the month, that they were even happy about what they were doing. And they needed to be there because of the commitments that they made in their lives and with their selves, right? But there were people, especially recruiters. They are great salespeople because they sell really well. They need to do that. Cold calling, all this stuff that we hate. Recruiters have to do that. I needed to do that a lot. And the potential that every individual had, and I soon realized, I said, this is definitely not the place to be. What I thought about recruiters wasn't yeah, definitely not. Of course, what I thought about recruiters was just like having bad experiences in the past, but they're really nice recruiters out there. There are nice people there. They want to do the right thing and have purpose and drive the people. And I met many of good people. But what I thought, Lee, is that especially when we were hit by COVID, and I started to take a lot of calls from candidates, right, looking for jobs, of course, because they lost their jobs. I became more a therapist than a recruiter, to be honest, because what happened, and that was what struck me, was that people lost completely the faith on themselves. Like, it's like if you lose your job, you lost your life. And this is so wrong. So in parallel to my job, I was already developing another business, like a side hustle, where I was doing a lot of personal development, self-development for myself first. And I was always doing an online business, which I started with affiliate marketing for a digital marketing thing, which I was doing like a side hustle and etc. During this process, and when these people was reaching out to me to understand, but Renata, what are the jobs that was happening to me, my family, all this is stress, I realized that the way I was being helpful to people was totally different, was by encouraging them, or by motivating them, for them to tell them, hey, why don't you think about, maybe you have an idea that is in the back of your head that you can make your own business. Can do your own hustle, your own side. Why don't you make some? But I don't know what I can do. Man, you can do a lot of things. Why are you hired with for the first place? What is your profession? What were you hired for?
Yeah.
Right. And then some of them, I was working with facility managers, that look after buildings. So some of them didn't need to work for a corporation. They could have their own side hustles of plumber or electrician or or even planning, project management, so many things, and even helping others, right? And I remember talking with this guy. He was totally lost. He was in his late 50s and he lost his job. He was made redundant. He was desperate. He had mortgage, kids, car, the whole story. And he lost the job from Monday to Tuesday. And then I said to him, look, I'm just going to tell you something. Do you think that having a job equals security? You are just proven that it's not, right? It is not, because you are part of a system that you have to keep feeding this system, right? You start to transform yourself in a zombie because you start to go there in this automated way because you have to be there, because you learned you have to go there, because that's what we learn when we grow up, right? But what guarantee that you have that even if you're working there for 30 years, because this guy was working in this place that he was working was a hospital for 25 years.
Wow.
25 years he was made redundant just like that.
Yep.
Right? He received his redundancy, which would hold on for a while for him and for his family, but not forever, right? And then was when I said to him, what do you love doing? What are you passionate about doing? And he said, oh, Renata, I love to do furniture. He was passionate. He has in his garage something that he was doing furniture and stuff. I said, why don't you think about doing a side business of furniture? Do you know how many people need furniture? Especially right now that people are working from home and they maybe need a desk or maybe a chair or maybe, I don't know, it's stuff to put the paperwork, right? And I remember from that call sort of come this, and he said to me, oh, you helped me so much with this. And then that's when the spark came into my head. And with my partner, we were sort of doing this side hustle together. And came this realization, and I came to him and I said, look, I think it's time for us to do something that we effectively help people, like that we use our enthusiasm, because it's not just understanding how to do a business or how can we help people, it's actually give them a piece of our energy for them.
Exactly. Yep.
Because what miss at the end of the day, it's can I do this? I don't know if I can. I'm too old for this. I don't have the ability, or I don't have the time, or I don't have the money, right? It's always on those lines: money, time, ability, and technical skills or anything. If it's computer, digital, I don't know how to use a computer, or I never use Zoom in my life, all these things. So that's when we said, what can we do that we can help people to start their own businesses, right? Instead of being working 9 to 5, which we are part of a race.
Yep, definitely.
Do their own things and help them to just get from this idea level into the tangible, to go there and do it. Because Lee, we don't deserve to be in suffering, we don't deserve, no, we're not designed to be in suffering, in pain, in frustration. This is a human creation.
Exactly. we do it to ourselves mostly.
We do it to ourselves. It's our self-talk, right? It's us talking to ourselves. Oh, but I don't think you can do it. Oh no, but be careful, right? Because our brain is a 200 million old device that is designed for survival. It's not designed to make us happy.
Yes.
So what happens is it's never gonna look for what can make us happy. It looks for how can we save energy, or how can we protect ourselves from the danger. Because nowadays we don't have tigers and lions anymore, because we live in the modern society, the brain starts to see other things that becomes a creation from us, because we need to escape from anything else. So all these are translated into fear, insecurity, frustration. I'm not able to do it, So this is how we created the MindBug. So the MindBug was created by this need that we thought, that we truly believe that exists out there, of people that has the wrong bug installed in their minds. They have the bug of what I just said, of the worry, frustration, of the fear of doing something, because they are surrounded with an environment that don't help them to move forward, right? With people that don't want to move forward. Because if you were going to my office, right, and I would sit down around the people, for example, from the, finance team.
Yes.
I sat down in there. Everybody around me, nobody had entrepreneurial ideas, or anybody was. So you started to set yourself into that environment. So you go every day into an office where everybody is, doing their things. And there are the cheeky ones, right? That you are there working, but you stay half an hour in the coffee and 30 minutes in the bathroom and up and down. And the last thing they do is to work. But they get paid.
Yes.
Right? By the end of the day, the check is there and they are safe and they feel good about it, and it's all good, right? So if you want to change that, if you want to go into an entrepreneurial life, if you want to invest in something, you need to change the people that are around you.
Exactly.
Because it's really difficult for you to say, I say to you, you are super in the box, doing everything everybody does. And I say, Lee, but I want to do this. You're going to say, oh, Renata, you shouldn't. Come on. And then what happens is that if we are close enough and I am listening to what you say to me, I will be influenced by you. It's impossible to don't be, right? It's just very difficult. So to break through that space, it's hard. So we said, why don't we offer that space for the people that want to break through? So if they want to go, they will find people, a community, support, encouragement, tools, resources, frameworks to actually do it.
No, that's right. And it's normally our families and the close ones, as you said, like if we knew each other really well. And it's called intimidation. I used to facilitate courses, life skill courses. And that's what I learned about intimidation. It's not just about somebody bearing over you, like a strong-armed guy, but somebody saying something to you that will stop you from doing what you want to do. And that's intimidation.
Exactly. 100%. I couldn't agree more. And this is the problem, because we are surrounded of people that we don't remember where they came from. They are just in our lives already, right? And they bring to us all these things that ultimately stop us to do something fantastic, phenomenal, that can help a lot of people, right? So this is when we created the MindBug. So the purpose of the name MindBug is to be a bug in your mind, really, this positive thing, that encourages, that put you in a good mindset, a good mind state to start with. Yes. But we didn't want to stay just on the mindset. We wanted to give real business solutions, right? And simple ones as well, because that's the other thing. Oh, you want to start a business? Oh, you need to do a business plan. And then you think it's a memo of 100 pages, right?
And cash flow.
Yeah, and cash flow. Oh, but do you have an accountant? Do you have an ABN? And do you have this? And do you have that? Oh, I better stay in my job, right? So the idea was, and what we are doing now is to give what we call business solutions that empower. So it's that for you to learn how to do it. It's not for you to be there and keep needing to call me or anybody around the course, It's for you to really get how we call the reins of the horse, and drive your own force, right? And you don't need to have all these things. You're starting off. The first thing you need to take it out of the way is the resistance that you can do it. Because once you start to confirm to yourself that your theory is actually a hypothesis that actually the market is willing to accept, this starts to give you the encouragement and the confirmation that you can do it. And then you think on the next step, and then on the next step. So
I love what you said, and I didn't read it, but the front of your website said, which is themindbug.com, solutions that empower. We help people to launch their own business, build an entrepreneurial mindset, increase productivity, and become laser focused towards achieving your goals. It's everything that you've just said, which is awesome. It's amazing.
These are in our perception, these are the three things that helped us. And I think that first we test with ourselves, it works great. So now we can help others, right? Yes. That was what put us in track to actually leave our jobs and then dedicated time to this. So the MindBug started as a side hustle. And then when I started to see, okay, let's start to reach out to the market with this idea. So you started to reach, literally this beginning is starting off with network, with people that know people, with friends of friends of a friends. That's the way, right? Because we don't have like a clientele book or anything like that. So you start to test the hypothesis, like we say, with people around you, people that know people, and reaching out all over the place, right? And we started to see that these are the three things that actually stop people to move forward. One, not having the mindset. So let's give them to them or help them with the most that we can, right? Yeah. Secondly, productivity. Why? Because if you don't act, nothing is gonna happen. If you don't act upon, the results will be zero. Because you can have the most beautiful idea, the most beautiful business in your head, but if you don't sit down and do the work, nothing's gonna fall from the sky. right?
Yeah.
And third and last is to be laser focused, because the environment, the distractions, right, that we have around, so many, just by leaving our phones next to us, how much you lose on your day just by having the bloody phone next to you,
Yes, I know.
popping stuff in there, because it's just like you go and look, right? You get curious, or you want to check out what's going on, or somebody, you send a message. I remember when we were recording the course, um, my phone, I needed to put in plane, like airplane mode.
Oh, yes, that's a good idea.
Yeah, and I put it like in a drawer far
Yeah.
away from me. And that was the only way. Because, of course, in the middle of the day, you are doing the thing, and we are doing the presentations and starting to do everything, and planning everything. When I want to go for stretch, for coffee, then what's the first thing you get? The phone. Phone is one of the things that in our course we say is the first thing you need to eliminate for you to get these little things rolling, at least in certain specific times of your day,
Yes.
because otherwise you just don't get things done, and then you're never gonna see the results. Then you're gonna have this confirmation that you can do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that idea because I used to do real estate in Johannesburg, and everybody expected you to be on call 24 hours a day. I mean, I'd get calls at 5 a.m. and expected to be at a property in 20 minutes and late at night. So I learned very quickly to put my phone off at 5 o'clock or whatever time I was done. And the home phone would ring and that, and I just ignore it. And I do that now too. And then my granddaughters are like, your phone's ringing, I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah,
You don't, just because it rings doesn't mean you need to answer it.
that's exactly, Lee.
Yep.
We need to learn to say no to things.
Mm.
This is the hardest, because once you have your own show, there is not such a thing as, accepting everything. You need to start to learn how to say no. And the first thing we need to learn is to say no to ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Then we're going to be able to say no to anybody else.
Exactly.
But we don't say no to us. We don't say the truth to us as well.
Mm.
And constantly, sorry, we're bullshitting us.
Yeah.
We to ourselves, like. So this is one of the things that during this course we really teach, like share and encourage people to be truth to themselves, to see where are you really at, how are you really, so where do you want to be? Because to become that person, you're going to need to pass through a process, because if you don't have your business yet, you need to become your business, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we used to say that who starts this course doesn't finish in the same way.
Yeah. I would imagine so. Just talking to you, I'm already knowing things I don't do that I'm always saying to myself, I need to do that. Why did I do that when I was working for Avon as a district manager and I can't do it for myself? What is the problem? And that's my issue that I'm still dealing with. But I understand totally what it is. And I know so many women who could probably do better, and men, but mostly women. And we just held back by ourselves. That's all.
Lee, what I think is that we women, we go back into our culture or to our background of being born and raised with certain parameters that if you don't do that way, you are a disgrace, right? So if you don't have kids, or if you don't marry, or if you don't have but then we get challenged with, okay, I need to get married and have kids, but I need to be an awesome entrepreneur and I need to be the CEO for my company. So how can I match these two things? And then become this conflict, right? Oh my God, I have kids and how can I be a CEO? No, it's Jesus. You want to, because there is everything on TV and everything on the media of successful women, and they need to look beautiful and they need to look slim, and these are the things that it starts to shock the values, and then you start to get crazy because you say, how can I be this individual? But because we are constantly looking outside,
Yes,
and comparing ourselves, and the comparison kills. Oh my God, comparison is the word. Is is the killer, is the beast, is the first one that you have to put in a jar and throw on the ground because it doesn't serve at all.
And
Because
the government organizations are worse. I've got a few friends who now work in the government because they couldn't get jobs.
yes,
Corporate.
yes.
And yeah, it's they've also gone down in their what they do, but it's so true what you're saying. This is so interesting. So tell us a bit about your courses. I could talk to you for 300 hours, but I don't think people
I know. Let's go. The bone. So the course is a 6-week course. So what we decided to do was to shrink it up. So how we thought, how can we optimize like all the information we know, everything that worked for us in the less amount of weeks time possible for people to go through something that it's not like a degree in business, right? That's something that goes straight to the point, no fluff, that we are straightforward. So we basically divided like the 6 weeks in the what we call actually 7 weeks because we created like a bonus week that is just on productivity.
Okay.
So it's basically we got all the foundations, the business foundations. So understanding what are you doing, who you are serving, what is your message, what is your pricing. So all the whys and H's, right? So how, do, why, when, which. So we separating that. So these are 6. And then on top of that, we give, so the frameworks over how can we help you. So for example, if you don't have a clear idea yet of what you want to do, how can we help you to clarify these ideas? Or if you already have an idea, but you just didn't put it out. So the same, so kind of falls into the same concept, but then helping you to really dig deep in who you are serving and why you are doing this. Because I think that a lot of people get in the trap, which I did myself in the past with other businesses I tried, focus on money. And this is where is the problem.
Yes.
You need to solve a problem of a niche. That's all you have to do.
Yes. You got to give value and then the money will come.
The money will come. But it's really hard to think this way. It's not easy. And for this reason,
it's not easy.
Not easy, because of course you need to pay your bills, right? We are in the capitalism. This is still happens, right? So I think what we do is we really help people to two concepts. One is the delayed gratification, right? For you to hold tight, it's gonna happen. Hold tight, it's gonna come in double. But we need to make the basics, the initial work, right? And the other thing is really to understand the reason why you are doing that in first place. Because when you understand why you are there, first of all, when come moments like this one, COVID, everything is difficult for everybody. You love what you do, you love who you serve, you're gonna endure, you're gonna want to do more, you're gonna want to do that extra mile. But if it's not something that touches your heart, if it's not a heart-centered business, it's gonna fall apart because you're not gonna find reasons to do it, right? So as theory or beautiful that looks like this, it actually really works because the people that were really engaged and passionate for what they were doing, actually during COVID, they did better. There's so many businesses that did well. It's not because there was a crisis. Actually, the people that got jobs got worse than people that didn't.
Yes, exactly.
Right? So what we do is we
go back to their jobs until there's a lockdown, but they can't change their mind.
Exactly. So it's like giving this foundation. So really the tools for them to discover all these things. You need to still have your message out there, how you're going to communicate with these customers, these people, how you're going to put your message, how you're going to write it, what is the outcome, what is the transformation you are providing, how to put a price in what you do, because that can be really challenging, especially in the beginning, that you need to put your price a little bit lower so people can come in, win their resistance, and then you're going to get testimonials, people saying how good you do their jobs, and then you start, right? But it's the delayed gratification, right?
Yeah.
You need to wait. It's the marshmallow experiment, right? That they put a marshmallow for the kids. I don't know if you heard about this.
No.
So it's actually through a research. So they put a marshmallow, so the group of kids, so
Yeah.
they put one table, a long table, a lot of marshmallows, and they said to the kids, if you can get the marshmallow now, or if you wait for 1 hour, you can get 2 marshmallows. And then some kids went there and grabbed the marshmallow. Other kids were there waiting 2 hours, and then or 1 hour, whatever was the time, what was the time frame, and they got the 2 marshmallows. So the same scientists that did this study, you can actually research the marshmallow experiment. It's called a long time ago. They did. They followed this group of kids. And through their lives, the kids that waited for the second marshmallow had a more prosperous, how to say, a better life than the other ones.
Wow.
Because they were able to wait for the right moment to get more, right? So we help this through the course. So on top of all these frameworks that we really give for businesses, like for you to start off your business, we give all the mindset, which we think that is the most, I mean, you can't separate one thing from the other, right? You can't, because the entrepreneurial mindset is different from the employee mindset. You have to change that key, right? Yeah. The key of feeling uncomfortable, comfortable with uncomfortable, the key of waiting, the key of maybe I can't drink the coffee this week because I need to pay for my ads. So I will need to stop with coffee for a week, a month, a year, whatever, to do that. So you change this key, and this is practice. And this is being around with like-minded people that understands what you're going through and that helps you through the process. So the course has the business component and this other one, and we follow them. We have a community called Small Business Accelerator is the name of the course. So we have a community just with like-minded people or they are doing the course or they want to get involved and they are getting to know it. And we do a weekly webinar, both myself and my partner, where we do like a Q&A for them and we share a topic and we give a lot of support.
I know, I think I've been on a few of those, but then I've had the girls in the holidays and that, so I start listening and then it gets too loud and then I can't listen anymore. I try every day to listen to motivational stuff when they're getting ready for school. And then I just wonder, why am I even playing that? Because it's just like noise at the background with their noise. So I try to then do it when I'm on my own more. So I get up early. The thing I've learned is to wake up early, but I also go to bed early. So I don't have a life. It's just me and my dogs and my cat. So as soon as the girls go home, I normally like, that's me, unless I've got a Zoom or a meeting. But I wake up early and I do all my social media posts. I do my motivational posts. That's what I do first thing in the morning. So not only am I helping others, I'm hoping, but it's feeding me early in the morning with that positivity messages that I'm trying to share with everybody. And I've just found getting up early, then it just starts your day off right, so
100%. We have a session in the course, Lee, that is called the morning routine, right? We have a student that she called the routine of the champions. And I agree. If you don't set up your morning, if you don't win your morning, your day is all disconnected. You have to have those an hour, 2 hours, 3, 4, if possible, if you wake up really early, to focus on yourself and exactly in doing those things. Because it's the compounding of those things. He's not doing this one. He's doing this 365 days a little bit.
Yes.
Right? And then it becomes a powerful thing. Especially affirmations.
I didn't do it yesterday. Sorry, I didn't do it yesterday because I don't know what happened and there was drama and that. My whole day I felt twitchy. Like I was so far behind and I hadn't done all of that stuff that I do early in the morning. And you start thinking, should I do it or not? And then I'm like, no, I have to do it. And then you get in a panic. My whole day was out of kilter yesterday.
Yeah. It's super important. And there is a book that's called The Tools of the Titans.
Oh, yes.
Tim Ferriss. I don't know if you heard about it.
Heard of that one, yeah.
Super recommend. It's more like an encyclopedia because it's like 400 pages.
Yes.
But there is one thing that he said. He interviewed over 1,000 entrepreneurs over his career. And entrepreneurs, athletes, actors, actresses, everything, right? CEOs, everything. And one thing he said was 99% of these people do one thing in common. It's the morning routine. All of them, they have meditation, journaling, and dedicating the morning for themselves without a phone.
Yes.
So there is something that it's just like we don't need to recreate the wheel. This model, if work for these people and they are successful, they have achieved like amazing things, at least in my perspective. So why I wouldn't be doing the same or trying to see how can I fit that into my life, right?
Yeah.
This is what we teach, we share on the course as well. We share all these things.
Well, I'm just fascinated. I mean, we've been talking for about 40 minutes now, and I'm just so blown away. So your course, it runs for 7 weeks because you got the extra week, and is it on Zooms, obviously?
No, so the course it's all recorded. So we have it recorded in a platform called Podia. So you go there, you purchase the course. The first week, by the way, is for free. So if somebody wants to test it out, it's more than welcome. Go there and check it out. So the first week we give you for free, but if you want to go and already have it, it's up to you. It's perfect. So you follow you follow in your pace, and that's the beauty of being online, right? Because you can do, if you want to do 1 hour a day, so you pretty much, what we ask is if somebody wants to do in 6 weeks, is possible. Yeah, it's designed for 6 weeks for this reason. But if you don't have, sometimes life goes, in a way, you have kids, the family, I don't know, things go around. That's not a problem at all. You can do in 8, 9, 1 year if you want. It's all recorded there.
Yeah.
You go in your pace and do it. And after each class, we have exercise. So we make you do some work. Yeah, you're not gonna be there just watching things and going to sleep. There is work to do. There is resources to download, exercises for you to do over and over again. And it's very comprehensive. But we thought that, especially for our first input into this, we said, let's give absolutely it all. No boundaries. Because the thing here, Lee, is to give people results.
Yes.
And as many people as possible give results. I don't want to receive calls from the candidates that I had when I was working in recruitment. Say, Renata, my life is over. Calm down. It was this level of conversation. Calm down. Let's go for a walk.
Yeah.
Go for a walk with your dog, with your wife. I don't know. Don't get into your head. Calm down. What can we do? And there is a way. We all have this potential. We all have this light. By the way, Lee, the bug that we chose to represent the MindBug is the firefly.
That's amazing.
And the reason why we chose the firefly is because the firefly is a very ordinary insect during the day. However, during the night, it is the most astonishing bug that nature could have done, because it's the most beautiful thing for you to see that field full of fireflies, right?
Yeah.
And then I started to research more about the meaning of the firefly, and there is a very, very nice spiritual meaning that is powerful. It is the light that we have inside that we turn it off because of society, habits, people around, in the wrong environment, society, media, religion, so many things that shut us down.
Yes.
And we start to put this light off and off until something needs to happen, right? The trauma, separation, the death, something has to happen for you to say, oh, I want to get out of here, right? So what we want is why wait? You don't have to wait.
I love that. You do know, and this is just a segue, that on Netflix at the moment, there's a show called Firefly Firefly Lane.
Oh, I'm gonna watch it.
And it's really good, but yeah, and they in there quite a lot when they, you know, when they're back in the day where they lived in the country with the fireflies, that you see them all flying around, and that it's quite amazing actually.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's like you have the sky into the ground.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. All right, so what I'm going to do is put your links up on when we post this. I'm going to end this now, but can you stay on and we'll chat after the call?
100%.
And we could carry on. We might have to do part 2.
Part 2, yes, yes. No, it's amazing. And so, if somebody want to try it for free, everybody that enroll for the course, I encourage them to contact us first, because we don't want people to go through it without knowing that what is there is exactly is good for them. You know, I don't want to have anybody spending money with something that they don't need. Right? I was in this position before. I didn't like it, so I don't want to give that. So if somebody wants to try it out, the free one, and then they say, okay, that's exactly what I want, great. But if they don't know, they can always get in touch. There on the website everywhere, like a contact detail thing. Yes. And we book a call and we chat, and yeah.
Well, it seems that both of you are living by what you're preaching at the moment. You know, you're living how you're preaching.
Yeah.
Inspiring others and helping others, which is awesome. So thanks for coming on the call today. I'm looking forward to chatting to you more. I really am.
100%.
And I love your energy. So it's awesome.
Me too. Thank you. Thank you very much for
everything. Thanks so much. So everybody listening, you can look at the website. I'll put all the contact details on the event, and Renata's available to chat to you. Yes. And she's in lockdown, so she's available when she's got her phone on. This has been an awesome interview. Thanks for coming along.
Thank you. Thank you, Lee. Thank you very much.
Bye. Bye.